Hello, everybody, and good evening to everybody in India, and good afternoon to everybody who's in an adjacent time zone. Uh, Today we are gathered here to launch a very interesting initiative called Unread 2021. So before we go into Unread 2021, let me just give you quick context on what ScrollStack is, how did we arrive here, and what does this mean for us. We started ScrollStack a few months ago to make sure that we are providing a platform for creators across genres, across languages, and we are giving this platform mainly to make sure that they are able to create things that they are passionate about, and then they are able to convert this passion, their followers, into uh, monetization, right? So they have options to monetize using the platform. Um, Unread 2021 is a fantastic initiative led by Platform for Artists, which we will refer to as PFA because that's what people commonly know them by. PFA has been around for a few years, was started by a fantastic young team, and they do a great job in bringing together artists and creators from around the country across genres and actually creating a beautiful piece of work from there. We at ScrollStack, we are really excited to be collaborating with PFA to actually help them run Unread 2021 and make sure that it's as successful and actually more successful than it has been in the past, because this pandemic has really upended how a lot of creators operate, how a lot of artists operate, and digital has to be one of the main ways in which they're able to leverage what we have. So, for the next few minutes, you are actually going to hear from Pawan Rochwani, who's the founder of PFA. I'm going to hand this over to Pawan and let him talk about Unread. Let him give you context and history behind Unread, how they got started, and what's in store for 2021. So, Pawan, thank you so much for joining us, and over to you.
Thank you so much, Ritesh. And I just have to say this before we even get into the entire project and what this, entire concept is. I am a massive, massive fan of the work that you guys do at ScrollStack, and I think that's something that's so needed in India's current creator ecosystem. And I think I just see you guys growing massively, and every creator being on the platform very, very soon. So, thank you so much for partnering with us on this project. And everyone who is watching this live stream on the Scroll account or YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, wherever you are. My name is Pawan Rochwani, and as Ritesh was just telling you guys, we started this community organization a few years back. Uh, we were at a point where we did not even know what community building is. We initially thought that okay, let's host some events and gather a few artists and try and just have fun and create some cool projects, do some cool work. Eventually it got pretty serious, and 2018-19 is when we got connected to more than 30,000 artists from across the country. And that's when we thought that, oh no, this is really serious, and the work that we are doing is impacting so many creators out there. And we took this up as a responsibility on ourselves as to how we can build a more collaborative and very inclusive artist and creator ecosystem in India. All of this was before the pandemic, and this book concept that I'm going to tell you more about. Actually, this is the third edition of this project, which is called Unread. The first one was in 2019, where we had 100 writers, and these 100 writers submitted one piece of their own. It can be a poetry, it can be a short story, it can be in Hindi or English or any of the other languages also, but it has to be an original unpublished piece that we compiled from 100 different writers and published it as a book. The best part about the book was that although it says 100 writers and 100 stories, the book only has 99 writers in it. The 100 page of the book is kept blank so that everyone who gets a copy of this book, they write their story into it. And this is how the chain keeps on going, and the community and entire ecosystem just becomes part of this one big project called Unread. And since always we have been very collaborative and very inclusive in the kind of work that we do, and I think that's at the very core of even if the smallest of thing that we will do. that was launched in 2019, and again in 2020 we launched this, the second edition of the book. Again, similar concept, but what we tried to innovate in that one was the cover design of that book was done by 9 different designers. So it was like a relay of design. Let's say I am the first designer, I'll create one part of the cover design, and if Ritesh is the second designer, I will hand over the file to him, and then he'll design over it. Similarly, it's like how the relay happens, and the cover design also of the book was very collaborative, at the same time keeping the 99 plus 1 writer concept alive in the book. This is what we have been doing, and this entire project is just to, like, initiate the idea that we have to become more collaborative, we have to become more supportive and helpful towards each other as creators. And I think this year, when we are in a very weird, or how the common phrase is, unprecedented times. I don't know how many times this word has and this phrase has been used on tweets, emailers, and everywhere else. Um, but for the lack of better phrase, I think we are in a phase like that. And because this whole book release and everything else cannot be done in a usual regular fashion, we thought as to either we have two options: let's skip that project for this year, or try to come up with a cool digital concept for it. And if we as community builders keep telling creators and artists that don't give up, keep following your passion, I don't think it suits us to say that, we want to give up and skip this project for 2021 because of the pandemic. That's where we came across, and with the good friends at ScrollStack, how we are going to publish the book as an e-resource this year is all the 99 writers, and this time we're expanding it to other languages and other creators also. Let's say if you're a designer or a comic artist, and you want to create, you want to share a story um, in the form of a comic, you can also be part of this project this year. Initially we had the restrictions and boundaries for how much we can creatively expand this, but because this year it's going to be a digital and an e-resource, it's completely open for, and the max creative freedom that any person can imagine it to be. So again, this year there are going to be 99 creators who are going to be part of this project, and we are going to release this as an e-resource in the month of April. We'll share the logistical details of this. We have also have a small article which will give you all details about how this entire project is going to go, what's the timeline, if you want to apply, how you should apply. You just have to fill up a small Google form, and then we will reach out to you over email about the next details and how you have to submit your piece and everything else. But what I really want to tell you all right now is, it's more like empowering the whole ecosystem that's out there. It's more about coming together as 99 different pieces and bringing them together collaboratively and being stronger all together in front of the world. And I think that's what really should stand out and should really be put out the message to everyone globally, that there are the India's creative potential is growing massively, and there are these brilliant creators who are part of a project like this, and something that's very exciting. um, we're going to just share the details of this, the blog link, in the comment section, so just go check out that article. It has all the details about it, and there's a small Google form also, so you can just fill that up and we'll reach out to you on email and give you all details about how the timeline is, what are the criteria for it. But just to give you one free, let's say, rule book about it, that there are no rules. You don't have to be a Hindi writer or a Hindi storyteller or English poet, slam poet, or if you write in Telugu, Tamil, any. I am a Sindhi, so basically I'm planning to write a poetry this year in my mother tongue. So that's something that I'm going to try do that. So it's definitely open to all kinds of languages and writers from across the country. Some of the past writers who have been part of this book are the most famous slam poets that are there in the country, or writers that we check out on Instagram or on the internet, like Amandeep Khayal, Kopal Khanna, Forum Shah, Sharanya Rajgopalan, Shakti Shetty, Akash Ranison. All of these folks have been part of this book last 2 years, and we'll also share a copy of the last 2 years book, and you can just go through and read the different pieces written by these brilliant and amazing folks who are already making a mark in the literary um, circle of the country, but this year we're going to expand it to design and some other categories also. So the only rule is there are no rules. If you are a creator, just go ahead, fill up the form, and we'll reach out to you with all details. I think we could now take some questions if you all have, and then we could. Uh, I'm going to hand it over again to Ritesh and the team if they have any details to share about it.
Got it. So thank you, Pawan. This sounds really exciting, by the way. And also, I pronounce this unread, but I realize that this is unread. So this is
That's
my bad.
okay. No
Unread
worries.
2021. Excellent. All right. So I
You
think
know,
the
I'll also tell you a funny story about how we came up with the name of this. So, a lot of projects that we did were named as. So, we do a visual arts exhibition which is called Unseen. We did like an experiential art show which was called Unlearn, because the idea over there was to just unlearn the habits of how we experience art. And when we were thinking about this, we were like, okay, what to call this, title this, and unread was basically that just came to our head, and that unseries has always just stayed with us.
got it.
So yeah, I mean it's completely okay, Ritesh. No problem about that.
Makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I'm sure you will have people on both sides of it, right? Somebody will say red and somebody will say red stuff. So
Yeah.
excellent. All right. So I do have a couple of questions, but I'm going to take one question from
Yes.
the feed first. So
Yes.
Aradhita Chattopadhyay on Facebook asks if poetry is okay for
Yes. So
submission.
all the both the last years there have been. So I'll tell you the division of it. There were, let's say, 60 pieces were poetries and 39 pieces were short stories. So poetry, short stories, definitely all welcome in any language. Especially this year because we are doing it digitally. We have no restrictions about it. The last 2 years we also had restrictions about the maximum character limit of the piece that you will send, but again this year we don't want to keep any boundaries or restrictions about that because we are doing this with you guys and we don't have any limitations on the platform. So that's something like a super thing that's happening this year.
Got it. Excellent. So, Pawan, the first question that I had is essentially, I'm sure you get a lot of entries, right? And
Yeah.
how do you go about selecting the ones that actually make the final cut? If you can explain that process a little bit, I'm sure it's listed on your ScrollStack page as well, but
Yeah.
would be great to just give people that context.
Yeah, practically, I think as let's say curators or editors or community builders, that's like a nightmare of process for us because to go through. So in the first year we got some 800 applications and we had to pick up 100. In the second year, we got some 2,500 applications, and it was just like we're just having sleepless nights. Um, and because we keep saying that it's there are no restrictions to it about in terms of language or about the content that you're picking up, and it doesn't even have a theme to it, right? I mean we're not just specifically saying that we're going to talk about mental health or we're going to talk about so and so topic. It's also open to it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, or it doesn't really say that you have to be this kind of person or you have to be a very famous person, have 10,000 followers on Instagram. Please, I think that's the most bizarre rules some of the other communities or organizations set. Number of followers is definitely not a criteria. It's really really just about the piece that you send, and
Hmm.
if it's something like a story that isn't really out there yet, because we always mention, right, it should be an original, unpublished and not performed anywhere before kind of a piece. If it's something that's is really new, very unique, and just feels very fresh, I think you are totally eligible. I think there's no eligibility criteria to it. So as I said, no rules for it. Feel free to just apply. And even if you are not one of the 99 writers for this year, we will still have that concept of 99 plus 1. So because it's happening digitally, anybody can also create a ScrollStack account themselves and just be in the same tag and in the same page, and they can be part of the book altogether. So it's like an endless number. It has infinite number of writers is what I can say, and in fact creators and designers this year.
Yeah. So it's a movement essentially, and then sort of like
Exactly.
what
Yeah.
the ebook that comes out of it is more sort of like the symbol of the movement than the sort of
Exactly,
movement
and
itself.
because I don't know, I should call this as a positive aspect of the pandemic or not, but because this year we are doing it digitally, this can go beyond India and globally as well. I mean,
Right.
this could be set as an example as to how really the entire ecosystem is very collaborative in India, and how different creators are actually coming together to just be part of one project, and it's like a massive collaboration altogether.
Got it. So the end result, Pawan, that you guys put together, right, out of these
Hmm.
99 stories, poems, comics, etc. Um, Historically, that has been a physical book, right?
Yes,
And this year, what you are saying, and I just want to make sure that this is clear to everybody. This is that this year it's going to be an ebook or a PDF
yes,
that people are actually going to be able to purchase and download, right? So I think
yes,
that's another thing that I want to sort of clarify, that what the end product is actually going to be available for people to buy
yes,
on
yes.
ScrollStack,
And in fact,
right?
everyone can also contribute to the 99 writers altogether, right? I
Mm.
mean, the micro payments capability of ScrollStack is something that's a brilliant feature and is very, very much needed. I think this is also like a start to the movement that Indian audience and content consumers need to start paying for quality content. When two communities as big as ScrollStack, Scroll, PFA are coming together to curate something so big, those 99 writers should be paid for the content or for the poetry and the stories that they write. So I think that's also like a sub movement that's going to come up along with this campaign.
Yeah. And Pawan, do you want to give context about this awesome thing that Sangeeta had just mentioned? I know
Oh yeah.
you know her, so I think that is a story worth telling, I'm sure.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was referring to. She has been part of the book last year. That was the 2020 edition. And when we ask people to fill up the form, we just ask them for like just give us a YouTube link to your account, or an Instagram page link or something like that. And then we also ask them, send your piece that you want us to publish in the book. And when we go through that piece, it's independent of how many followers you have, or how many blogs that you have on your account, or how many YouTube videos you have, and all things like that. When that standalone piece itself can be something that's really fresh, unique, and just stands out. It doesn't matter if you have created your Instagram page 1 day ago or 10 days ago. And I think that's what Sangeeta is mentioning here, that she only had 5 blogs and she got selected as one of the writers. So it's really about that one little piece that you send across. So because the timeline is for entire March month, people can submit their piece. Maybe you can start writing the story or start creating that design or comic even now. So you'll have, let's say, 30 days, and then you submit it. So even you could be part of it. It doesn't really matter if you have 5 blogs or 1,000 blogs or a million followers.
Right.
So that's how it is. It's independent of how much fan following you have on the internet.
Got it. Excellent. And then for everybody out there who's interested, right? Let's say you haven't started the journey of writing yet or creating yet, and you don't have your own blog. I would highly recommend you guys go check out scrollstack.com. It's a completely free service. You can you can create poetry, you can write stories, you can write nonfiction, you can create comic books. We make sure that they look great. Even if you have a big social presence and you want to create something out of your social presence, we actually have fantastic embeds where your Instagram posts are going to look more beautiful, if I can say, than Instagram on ScrollStack, because they'll be in an order that you can actually arrange them, versus be only chronological that you can find on other social platforms. So use the platform as well, so that you are able to have a home for all of your work as well, right? So highly encourage you guys to at least go and check it out. If you don't have your blog, you don't have to build it. We've actually done all the hard work to build a platform that incorporates everything that a blogging platform should have, monetization have, and essentially parts of distribution as well. So with that, there are a couple of other things that people are asking. So Lisa Thomas is asking, can the poetry or short stories have a particular concept? So I think she's asking
No.
about a theme or a subject.
Yeah, yeah. As I was referring to when I was speaking like straight for 7-8 minutes, I think there's no concept or let's say a particular theme to it, right? Because these 99 writers come from across the country, they have different experiences. Clubbing it into one theme sort of restricts it. And that's what we don't really want to do. We wanted to have as diverse and as vibrant as it could be, because the whole it's this book and this entire project is also like a reflection of the Indian creator ecosystem. It's so vibrant, it's so diverse, and in terms of language also, because this time we are doing it as a e-resource and as a digital book. We don't want to have restrictions about languages also, because when you're doing a hard copy, the publication house needs that whether this is an English book or this is a Hindi book and all of those sort of things. But because all of those restrictions are not there, we want this e-resource to be as vibrant and diverse as it can get. So Lisa, to answer your question, that no, there is no particular theme to it, and you're free to submit uh, any one piece that you feel, this is what you really want to say out loud to the world.
Got it. Janish has a question as well. He's asking if a fictional short story is allowed. Absolutely, Janish. From everything that I've learned from
Yes,
one, yes.
yes, definitely. I mean, we openly, I mean, we want to welcome you, because, I mean, imagine you reading this book. This book has stories, or let's say poetries, from every topic. It's, I mean, as a reader, I think it's a very, very brilliant experience for me to, have such vibrancy in one particular book. Which I think a lot of people say that no, that's not really cool. You should have a theme, but we are like, no. I mean, the entire world can go with the theme, but we want to, be unique, and we want to have that vibrancy and diversity into the book.
Excellent. All right. So I don't think there are any more questions coming here, Pawan. So this is great. Thank you so much for all the context, all the information that you've given. For everybody out there, if you want more information, just go to PFA's ScrollStack page at platform for artists plural.scrollstack.com. You can easily Google platform for artists ScrollStack, and their page will also come up. So they're very easy to find. The link is also in all the comment section wherever you are watching this, so it should be there. And I am personally really looking forward to all the submissions, Pawan, and then how this process plays out. And really excited to partner with you guys in making this successful. So let's make sure that the creators across India feel a lot of love throughout this process, and it's our combined responsibility to make sure that we're making them successful, even if it's 100 at a time, millions to go for sure. So
Thank you so much, Ritesh, and everyone at the Scroll Stack team. I think this wouldn't have been possible without you guys, and I'm really looking forward to how this turns out when the book is released in April.
excellent. So everybody out there, start submitting, start reaching out to them. Let's get the teams working across the clock so that we can put out a fantastic output at the end of
I
the month.
can tell you that's like a nightmare, and that 1 week is like, I'm telling my parents and friends that, don't call me. I'm just reading. So that 1 week of final curation is like crazy for us. But yeah, we're also looking
Absolutely.
forward to it.
Labor of love, man. Labor of love. All right, everybody. Have a great weekend, and check out scrollstack.com, check out platform for artists, and start submitting. All right. Thanks, Pawan. Bye, everybody.